Prep 3 Forbes CEO Part 1. In this video, you'll learn how to use the minimum, maximum, large, and small function in Excel. If you look at your start file, you'll find a data set that comes from a Forbes 2008 list. It details all the CEOs and their compensation. The first table that you'll need to complete asks you to determine the highest paid CEO as well as the lowest paid CEO. In order to do that, we'll use the max and minimum function. The max function in Excel yields the highest value in an array of data. So what we are going to do is we are going to highlight our 2008 compensation. And you can see that the highest paid CEO on the list made $556 million. The lowest paid, we're going to use the min function. And again, we are going to select our data. And the lowest paid made $0.06 million. If you look at the next table, we have to figure out the top 5. So the 5 highest values for 2008 compensation. In order to do that, we are going to use our large function. First, the function asks us to select our data. So this is the data array. And we're going to tell Excel to look for the highest value. So we're going to use a 1. And what I'm going to do is I am going to use absolute referencing for the array. So I'm going to fix both the column and the rows. And you can see that this function yielded the same result as the max function. So when you use the large function with 1, it's the same as the maximum function. What we can do is we can copy the formula down, but then for the second highest paid CEO, we're going to put in 2. So the 2 is telling Excel look for the second highest value in this array. And you can see that it's 222. So we're just going to keep doing that. Here we'll have 3. Here we'll have 4. And 5. Then we are going to use the sum function to add up the top 5 compensations. And then we are going to determine the percentage. So the percentage would be the total divided by the sum of all the compensations. Format that as a percentage. Format these in accounting. So you can see that together the top 5 highest paid CEOs made over $1 billion, and they accounted for 20% of all the compensation made by the CEOs on this list. You can see that the next table asks us to do a similar thing, but now it's the bottom 5. So it's the 5 lowest paid CEOs in this list. In order to do that, we are going to utilize the small function in Excel. First, we're going to highlight the data. And again, we're going to want to use absolute referencing. And then we're going to put in 1. So Excel is going to look for the lowest value in this data array. And then what we can do is copy the function down and then replace the values. So this is going to be the second lowest, the third lowest, fourth lowest, and the fifth lowest. Again, we're going to sum up. And we also want to figure out the percentage that they account for in terms of all the compensation. So we're going to take the total and we are going to divide it by the sum of all the compensation. Format that as a percentage. Format all of these in accounting. So this is how you can use the maximum, minimum, and small and large function to identify the highest and the lowest values in a data set. In the next video, I'll complete the activities on this worksheet. I'll show you how to create or determine the mean and the median, range, standard deviation, and variance in a data set.